Today we're taking a look at these MLB matches, which are happening on Tuesday, April 25, 2023, and giving you our team and total picks for today. Welcome back to High Stakes. Before we dive into our video, don't forget to subscribe and to push the notification bell so you don't miss any of our videos. Also check out our Patreon if you want access to our premium picks. Our Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money, and if you are interested in props and parlay picks, check out our new channel High Stakes Props and Parlays, where you can find our player props and parlay picks predictions. You will find the link to our Patreon and to our new channel in the description and comments section below. Los Angeles Dodgers vs Pittsburgh Pirates. The Pittsburgh Pirates have been doing very well throughout the season, as they are 7th in the sport with a .765 ops, while scoring 4.83 runs per game up to this point. They have been able to swipe bases when they get on, as they have recorded 25 stolen bases on 30 attempts as a team thus far. Left fielder Brian Reynolds, .872 ops, 18 RBI, has been cooling off lately, but is a critical part of their lineup. The ability of the starting pitchers to get outs is critical, and there is a bit of a difference as Noah Syndergaard has a .264 opposing batting average, while Johan Oviedo has a .215 batting average against. The Dodgers have been struggling unless they are hitting home runs, while the Pirates have been able to string hits together to get going and make good innings. All in all, go with the Pittsburgh Pirates to pick up a win as a home underdog here. Our team pick is Pittsburgh Pirates. Both teams have not been doing great in terms of their total whip, as Los Angeles is 12th in baseball with a 1.28 whip, while Pittsburgh is currently tied for 18th with a 1.34 whip up to this point. Both lineups have also been doing extremely well at slugging the baseball, as the Dodgers are 2nd with a .460 slugging percentage as a team, while the Pirates are 7th with a .436 slugging percentage as a whole. The over has hit in 42 of the previous 60 games between these teams played at PNC Park, so go with the over here as well. Our total pick is over 8 runs. Baltimore Orioles vs Boston Red Sox. The Orioles are 15-7 to open up the season. They have found a groove over the course of the past few weeks. Baltimore has won 7 straight games, and they have won 9 of their last 10 games. Over the course of this run, Baltimore swept the Tigers and took a 2-game midweek set from the Nationals. In their latest game, the Orioles defeated Boston 5-4 in Game 1 of a 3-game series on Monday, April 24th. The Red Sox took a 4-0 lead into the bottom of the 3rd inning, but the Orioles would battle back and take the win. Ramon Urias doubled to center field in the 4th inning to score 2 runs. Dean Kremer earned the win for Baltimore. He pitched 5.2 innings and allowed 4 earned runs on 7 hits. In years past, Corey Kluber was a dominant force that lineups feared. The former Cy Young winner has struggled this season as he is 0-4 in 4 starts. He has allowed at least 1 home run in each start this year. The Orioles' offense has been playing really well over this stretch that has them winners of 9 of their last 10 games. Baltimore's Bradish has allowed 0 earned runs in 7.2 innings pitched. Take the Orioles minus 1.5 runs. The offenses for both teams have capabilities of scoring 9 runs each. With Kluber on the mound, Baltimore will be scoring plenty of runs in this game. The over is 6-1 in the Red Sox's last 7 overall. The over is 5-1 in the Orioles' last 6 versus the American League East. The over is 5-2 in the last 7 meetings. Take the over 9 runs on Tuesday. Houston Astros vs Tampa Bay Rays. The Houston Astros have seen plenty of changes over the past few years as a result of their resounding playoff success, but yet, they remain one of the toughest teams in the entire American League and will look to prove that in a series against the high-flying Rays. In their past 6 games played against right-handed pitchers, the Astros have come away with a 5-1 record, as well as being 8-2 in their past 10 games against the AL East, so taking down a proven team of veteran winners certainly won't come easy for anyone. In recent years, these two have been among the very best teams in the American League, and it's led to them playing some monumental games with plenty on the line, and unsurprisingly, the 2-time World Series champions have had the Rays edged the entire way. In 2023, however, the Rays have appeared unstoppable, and after a dominant outing in Game 1 of this series by the Tampa Bay offense that has scored 42 runs in their past 6 games, there's no reason to expect them to slow down now. Our team pick is Tampa Bay. While the Rays' offense has thrived, they've also had some great pitching performances in 2023 thus far, and historically, these two teams have played some low-scoring games, with the under being 43-21-4 in their past 68 head-to-head matchups and 28-3 in their past 39 meetings in Tampa Bay. While the Astros have thrived in high-scoring games this year, the Rays under sits at 6-1-1 in their past 8 games played against teams with a winning record, and on Tuesday, they'll change it up from Game 1 and see a pitching duel for the ages. Keep it simple, take the under 8 runs. Texas Rangers vs Cincinnati Reds. A 6-game skid entering this series is no more thanks to the Reds' late heroics. The 3 runs late in the game will get all of the attention, but the bullpen deserves recognition for pitching 5.0 innings without allowing a run. The comeback is impossible without the relievers holding it down, and as a group, they've been quietly effective this season. Now, if Cincinnati can get a better start out of Luke Weaver than they did from Nick Lodolo, they won't need 9th-inning dramatics. Weaver has started 1 game this season, and he allowed 4 runs over 6.0 innings, taking the loss against Pittsburgh. He only issued 2 walks but also allowed 2 homers. All of the damage was done in the first inning, otherwise, it was a clean outing. Weaver only tossed 35.2 innings in 2022, mostly as a reliever. Cincinnati should be alarmed by their lack of home runs this season, especially considering that their home park has spent years as the easiest to hit homers in. They only have 15 for the season, 28th in the league. Entering this series, the Reds were also 29th in strikeout percentage, only ahead of the Giants. The team is adept at drawing walks and getting on base, but driving the ball produces runs. The Reds don't, which is why they only have 95 runs through 23 games. The Texas Rangers offense is better equipped to take advantage of Great American Ballpark, and their starting pitcher has a better track record at limiting homers. If the bullpen performs as well as they had for most of the season before Monday, Texas should lock this game up easily. Texas has the 2 most vital edges, offense and starting pitching, and they can take another multi-run lead early. Their bullpen bounces back, and this game winds up a win for the visitors. Our team pick is Rangers minus 1.5 runs. Nathan Eovaldi departed Monday after 6.0 innings, with the Rangers leading 6-4. Jose Leclerc entered the game with the bases loaded and 2 outs in the 8th, spelling Dane Dunning, who had pitched the previous 1.2 innings. Leclerc walked the next 2 batters, which tied the game before recording an out. He opened the 9th with a walk before getting pulled. Will Smith entered, a passed ball put the tying run at second, and a single ended their night. 6 early runs were wasted. Our total pick is over. Seattle Mariners vs Philadelphia Phillies. Philadelphia earned its 3rd consecutive victory Sunday as they topped Colorado 9-3 in the series finale. With a win, the Phillies managed to take 3 out of 4 games from the Rockies. Philadelphia came into the game as a minus 300 betting favorite, while the 12 combined runs were plenty enough to go over the pregame threshold of 8.5 runs. Zach Wheeler turned in a quality start, allowing just 3 earned runs on 3 hits and 3 walks over 6.0 innings of work. He struck out 11 batters in the winning effort. Offensively, the Phillies recorded 8 hits as a team, with each one coming from a different player. Trey Turner, Cody Clemens, Bryson Stott, and Brandon Marsh each launched home runs. The odds makers are anticipating a tight game Tuesday night as the Mariners and Phillies square off in the city of brotherly love. The M's are minus 120 betting favorites, while the Fightin' Phils come back at plus 100 to win. I'm going to ride with a better pitching staff in this one and back Seattle on the money line. Gilbert has been solid to start the year, posting a 1-1 record to go along with a 3.57 ERA and 1.01 WHIP. I'll dive into their numbers below, but their offense will take on a Philadelphia arm barn that's just 26th in ERA, 5.27, and 27th in WHIP, 1.56. Look for Seattle's pitching to show out while the offense does enough to secure a win. Take Seattle with the money line. Finishing up what I had said above, the Mariners' bullpen has been excellent to start the year. They're 7th in ERA, 3.15, and a modest 17th in WHIP, 1.28. With a built-in off day, the arms are well rested, and we should get a chance at the big guns of Justin Topa, 0.00 ERA, and Trevor Gott, 2.31 ERA, in relief. While Bailey Falter has been a wild card throughout his career, he has found success against the Mariners. In a limited 13 at-bat sample size, the current roster is just 2 to 13.154, with no extra base hits. If the Southpaw can turn in at least a decent outing, we should see this game come in under the total. Take the over. Washington Nationals vs New York Mets. New York will be starting right-hander Edwin Uceta on Tuesday, who has a 0.00 ERA this season, as in 1 game this season, he went 3 innings against the Giants on Saturday, and will likely only go a couple of innings here, which is reported. As a pitching staff, the Mets have a team ERA of 4.16, which ranks 15th. Although all signs point to Uceta starting for the Mets, this will likely be a bullpen game of sorts, but I still like New York on the money line here. Washington did have success against the Twins, but this Mets team has a good offense, while their bullpen is solid. Meanwhile, this New York lineup has also hit Josiah Gray well, and I expect that to continue in this one. The Nationals lineup is very inconsistent as we have seen them hit for 10 runs against Minnesota, but are often left without getting hits with RISP. Take the Mets on the money line, even though they are traveling across the country on Monday. I also like the under in this matchup as even though Gray is 0-4, he has been solid and just hasn't been getting run support. Uceta, meanwhile, is very solid and should be able to go a couple of innings of shutout ball. Once it's turned over to the bullpen, I think that is where the Mets will take over and get some runs to win the game in like a 4-2, 5-2 kind of game. New York is 12-10-1 in hitting the under, while Washington is 10-9-2 in hitting the under. Finally, in the Nationals' last 7 games, their games are averaging 7.2 runs per game, while New York's last 7 games are averaging 9.5, but that is against better offensive teams than Washington. Take the under. Miami Marlins vs Atlanta Braves. The Marlins saw their 2-game win streak snapped on Sunday afternoon when they lost 7-4 to the Cleveland Guardians, 11-11 Sioux, 2nd in AL Central, at Progressive Field. Cleveland's starting pitcher Logan Allen struck out 8 Miami batters and limited the Marlins to 1 run in 6 innings to pick up the win in his major league debut. Allen's lone mistake was a solo blast to second baseman John Birdie in the 3rd inning. Third baseman Jose Ramirez and first baseman Josh Bell both went deep in the win for Cleveland. Marlins starting pitcher Jesus Luzardo lasted only 4.1 innings and allowed 4 earned runs on 8 hits and picked up the loss. Outfielder Jorge Soler went 3 for 3 with a run scored for Miami in the loss. Miami was below .500 on the road last season, 35-46, and they won only 3 of 9 games played at Truist Park. Morton has pitched effectively versus the Marlins recently. He hasn't allowed more than 3 runs in each of his last 6 starts against them and hasn't picked up a loss in 6 straight. Since joining Atlanta in 2021, he is 4-1 in 8 starts versus the Marlins and owns a 3.53 career ERA against them while pitching at home. Prior to getting swept by Houston this weekend, the Braves had won 6 straight games against the spread. Atlanta had one of the major league's better home record last season, winning 55 times in 81 tries. Conversely, the Marlins struggled on the road, going 69-93 away from their home stadium last season. Miami has not been effective on the road in Atlanta recently, losing 6 of their last 9 games there. During the 2022 season, Miami batted only .213, with 28 runs scored in 9 games at Truist Park. The stats and trends support a Braves victory against the Marlins on Tuesday. Take Atlanta at home. The Marlins are ranked 29th in the majors in runs scored per game at 3.27. They have gone under the point total in 9 of their last 10 games played, and their opponent have scored 3 runs or less in every game, but 1 so far this season. Miami scored a total of 3 runs in September during their 3-game series with the Braves at Truist Park, and they scored 4 runs or less in 8 of their 9 games with Atlanta in 2022. Miami batted only .213 with 28 runs scored and 18 extra base hits in 296 at-bats on the road against the Braves. Atlanta is averaging over a run less per game at home than on the road this season. Morton has allowed 3 runs or less in each of his last 5 starts against the Marlins. Both teams' pitching staffs rank high in several key categories. Atlanta and Miami are ranked 6th, 3.47, and 13th, 4.02 in the MLB in earned run average, respectively. The Braves' bats went cold in their series with Houston this weekend, hitting only .186 and averaging only 3 runs per game during the last 3 games. Most signs and stats point to a lower scoring affair between these two teams on Tuesday. Take the under 7.5 runs.